Hello, Christ is in our midst. I'm Father Kevin Long of St. Elias Antiochian Orthodox Church in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Today's Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, and here are the readings for today.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 15, verses 35 through 41. In those days, Paul and Barnabas remained in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Lord, with many others also. After some days, Paul said to Barnabas, "Come, let us return and visit the brethren in every city where we proclaim the word of the Lord, and see how they are." And Barnabas wanted to take with them John called Mark. But Paul thought it best not to take with them one who had withdrawn from them in Pamphylia, and not gone with them to the work. And there arose a sharp contention, so that they separated from one another. Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed away to Cyprus, but Paul chose Silas and departed, being commended by the brethren to the grace of the Lord. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 13, verses 24 through 30. Let us be attentive. The Lord said this parable: "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. So, when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared also. And the servants of the householder came and said to him, 'Sir, did you not sow good seeds in your field? How then has it weeds?' He said to them, 'An enemy has done this.' The servants said to him, 'Then do you want us to go and gather them?' But he said, 'No, lest in gathering the weeds you root up the wheat along with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at harvest time I will tell the reapers, gather the weeds first and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn. Glory to thee, our God, glory to thee." There has been a lot of talk about the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris, especially because of the number of parodies that were done in the process, and some of them seem quite insulting to Christians. What are we to make of these things? How are we as Christians supposed to respond? And I want to be gentle here, because I really don't want to make this a personal soapbox. But one of the things I do want to do is point out, even in today's gospel, we have within that a message that it is not our job to weed things out. Now, what are we to take about that? So the story is that a planter plants his seeds in a field, and then through the course of the night, an enemy comes and plants other worse seeds, bad seeds. And as the good seeds grow, the bad seeds grow alongside. And so the servants observe this and they ask the master what to do. And the master says, leave them be. Because in the hurting of the bad seeds, you might actually hurt some of the good seeds. So leave them be, and then when the time comes for the harvest, those that are bad will be gathered together, put in bundles, and then burned. The message there is that it is not our job to purge the bad from the good. God will take care of that in his own time. Now, we can say that there may be wrath involved. I don't know. But what I do know is that when we spend so much time worrying about the offenses that are done to us, a lot of times that keeps us from doing the good things that we are called to do as followers of Jesus Christ. If we want to spend time being offended, I don't know if we'll have any time for anything else. And really, to develop a sense of history in all of this is really very useful. Remember that the church itself was persecuted from the very beginning. And by persecution, I don't mean made fun of. I mean accused. Accused of treason. Accused of cannibalism. And for both reasons, Christians were executed, or we would call them martyred. They were put to death because they were seen as unpatriotic, or they were seen as having these secret ceremonies that caused harm to others. So, in all of this, the Christian churches had to thrive and had to endure. It did thrive. So who are we to sit there and worry about a trivial thing that happens in a minute and is gone the next minute? Why should we be indignant about what other people think? Is the indignation because what they're saying is true? Is the indignation because somehow we are made less because of the things that they do? We are only made less by actions like that if we allow those things to diminish who we are. If we allow those things to run over our good sensibility and turn us into bitter people that then mirror the very kinds of things that they're doing to us. We are not called as Christians to be mirrors of anything except mirrors of God's love. We are not called to return evil for evil. We are called to forgive those who persecute us and make fun of us and belittle us. And so what we see in today's story, the parable and the gospel, leave the things alone and let God worry about them. And when that happens, then that will be up to God to handle. Our job is to grow as good plants and bear good fruit and not be distracted by that which is surrounding us. We know what we are called to do, so let's go and do it. There have been so many criticisms and so many complaints, and to be perfectly honest, I think it's all just a waste of time. We have work to do. We have the work of reconciliation and peacemaking to do. We as Christians know that we are called to a better way of living, and we are called to help others see that as well. If we get caught up in the petty disputes and debates that are going on in the culture around us, we will not be able to have enough time to do the good things that we are called to do. So put those things aside. Leave them for God. Make a sigh, shake your head, but move on and embrace the reality of Christ risen from the dead, trampling down death by death, and upon those in the tombs bestowing life, and once and for all proclaiming reconciliation between us, his creation, and God himself. To him belongs all glory, always, now and ever, and unto ages of ages. Amen. Have a great day, and God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.